Good afternoon. I'm Nathan Unger with the Mission Fire Rescue Service, and I'm here today to talk to you about the 3 P's of fire safety at home: prevention, preparation, and performance. 7 of every 10 fires in Canada start at home. Annually, that averages out to roughly 20,000 house fires, 300 fire-related deaths, and $500 million in damage. Those numbers are courtesy of Kitty Canada or safeathome.ca. My goal today is to leave each of you with the knowledge to make your home a safer place for you and your family. In this presentation, we'll start by discussing prevention, tips to help you lessen the chance of having a fire at home. Secondly, we'll move to preparation, tools and resources needed in case a fire breaks out. And thirdly, we'll move on to performance, how to respond if you discover a fire. Fire prevention isn't something you buy, they're life habits you adopt. Candles, matches, lighters, anything that can start a fire should be kept on a higher shelf if you have young kids running around. Always be on the lookout for frayed extension cords and worn-out electrical appliances that could short an arc and start a fire. Keep curtains and furniture away from heating ducts, radiators, and fireplaces. Earlier this month, Mission Fire Service had to dispatch an engine company out to a residential alarm. A homeowner had left a couch cushion a little bit too close to a fireplace and it ignited. Fortunately for the homeowner, his quick action resulted in very minimal damage and he managed to get the couch cushion out the front door. Unfortunately for him, by the time we showed up, he still had a house full of smoke to deal with and a slightly less comfortable couch to sit on. Moving into the kitchen, we should always look at the cooking elements and make sure they're clean and free of grease buildup and old crumbs and debris. They can ignite without warning. Pot handles should also be always turned so they're over top of the counter to avoid being hit by a wayward elbow or young kids trying to look inside. Not only can this help prevent a Class B flammable liquids fire, it can also help prevent very serious burns. Also, when cooking on the stove, the appropriate sized pot lid should always be within arm's reach, because in a flare-up in a kitchen, the best way to put it out is to simply put a lid on it. Smoke alarms should be on every level of the house, and in every bedroom or just outside of them. Avoid putting them by the bathroom and the kitchen, as sometimes steam can set them off. They should be tested monthly, and the battery should be changed yearly. A good rule of thumb is when you change your clocks back, change your smoke alarm batteries. Next, let's move on to preparation. Being prepared can mean the difference between getting out safely and getting stuck in a situation you really don't want to be in. You should create a pre-plan with your family as to outline what to do in case of an emergency. Pre-plans are a great way to get young kids excited about fire safety. Make it like a scavenger hunt. Start with a map of your house and go around with your family and get your kids to point out doors and windows that are safe to exit through an emergency. Make sure they know where the smoke alarms and the fire extinguisher is as well. On top of that, they should also know where the phone is and how to call 911. One of the most important things to remember is to have a family meeting place. In case you get separated during an emergency, make sure everyone knows to go to this place and gather there. Practice this until you're comfortable with it and everyone else is comfortable as well. Remember, you're working with children though. Don't scare them or overwhelm them with information. Try and meet them on their level. Also importantly, you should have a Class ABC fire extinguisher on every level of your house and just a BC fire extinguisher in your kitchen. So what is ABC? A, B, and C are the 3 common classes of fires that you'll find at home. A class is common combustibles like wood, paper, and fibers. B class is flammable liquids such as grease and oil, common cooking fires. And C class is electrical. A BC class fire extinguisher is a good idea to have in the kitchen. They're usually a little bit smaller, easier to work with, and as well, they're easier to clean up than an ABC fire extinguisher. Your extinguisher should also be checked monthly, so when you check your smoke alarms, take a quick look at your fire extinguisher as well. You can ask your local fire department for a demonstration on how to properly use a fire extinguisher. Lastly, let's move on to performance. Recent statistics have shown that 78% of fire-related deaths happen at home, with the majority of them being between 2 and 4 a.m. Those numbers are courtesy of Fire Prevention Canada, or FIPRECAN.ca. Smoke alarms provide a great early warning to give you the quickest response. Whether catching a fire at an early or incipient stage and finding it safe enough to put out yourself, or signaling you that it's time to get out and giving you enough time to do so safely. Either way you look at it, smoke alarms are the safest and best and cheapest insurance you can buy. If you find a smaller fire and feel comfortable and to put it out yourself safely with a fire extinguisher, remember the acronym PASS. Remember, pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep when you apply. Before you approach a fire, always give it a quick test shot first, just to make sure that it works. If the fire is too big, and you smell smoke outside and hear the smoke alarm, you should feel the door. If it's not too hot, open it a crack with it slightly away from your face, in case any flash or smoke comes through. After that, get low and get out. Down low, the air is cooler and cleaner. Remember to close the door behind you to help prevent the spread of smoke or possibly flames. And should you catch on fire, always remember, stop, drop, cover your face, and roll. In conclusion, fire safety does not have to be complicated or expensive. Simple habits in a daily routine can help to reduce the chance of a fire ever happening. However, should a fire ever happen, it's nice to know that, should a fire ever break out, it's nice to know that you're prepared. Thanks very much for your time. Are there any questions, please?